Hello everyone, my name is Brad Vines and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of Disc Golf for Everyone.
That's how you do it. Oh. You caught it.
Yes, baby!
What is disc golf? A lot of people have heard of it as referred to it as frisbee golf or whatever, but actually there's a difference. This is a frisbee and this is a disc. See, they vary in widths, size, weights, feel, and everything. But the simple goal is you don't actually use a frisbee, you actually use a disc for playing disc golf. The simple objective is you want to put the disc into the basket. There's various ways and various types of baskets out there. But the main goal is to get it to land inside of here. Okay? Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what got me started into disc golf. I was a 50-year-old man. Was living in Alabama, looking to start a different adventure in my life. And so I decided to move all the way across the country with my dog and cat, all the way to Washington State. Well, along this journey and so forth, I was searching for, a different type of life, something to take me to a different level. I ran across this video. I'll see if I can get it posted up here. It was by a man named Don Shin. And he was a 100-year-old man, and the video was entitled "The Secret to a Long and Happy Life." And so I watched the video. The gentleman basically attributed most of his success and his happiness in life to disc golf. Yes, of course, he ate right, he did push-ups every day, but this gentleman had been playing disc golf since he was 9 years old, or throwing a disc anyway. Now, what really struck me the most when watching this video was he said some words that really struck with me. And he referred to disc golf as a liberation from distraction. I was like, wow, I want to seek that. I want to feel that, And that's what I've been able to find from disc golf. And that's what I want to share with you. And that's what I want you to know, that disc golf is for everyone. All people, shapes, sizes, colors, it doesn't matter, ages. I've seen all sorts of ranges of folks all across the disc golf courses. Okay? Now, one of the simplest ways to get started, and I encourage you to get up and get started. There's so many benefits from disc golf. One is just to get out in the great, wonderful outdoors, get exercise, and you get to have fun, either with yourself or your friends, are some of the three main benefits. One of the other biggest one, though, is that it's free. Now, I know nothing really in life is free, but however, I used to play ball golf, or stick golf, So, and back then, you used to have to, set a tee time, you'd have to pay green fees or a cart fee and all of that. Well, guess what? With disc golf, you don't have to do that. I can guarantee you can find a course somewhere nearby you. It doesn't cost anything to play. You can simply go. Start off by buying a simple little starter kit like this, where you get 3 discs, a fairway driver, a mid-range, and a putter. Heck, you can even go and play with 1 disc. Okay? I'm telling you, folks, you can get out and just enjoy the wonderful world of disc golf, and anyone can do it. These little kits right here, you can get them for like 25, 30 bucks. There's so many different types of plastic or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You spend that one time, okay, and then you can go out and play. Just find you a course. It's that simple, seriously. You can go anytime you want to. Nobody has to tell you to book a tee time or anything like that. You can wear whatever you want, okay? You don't have to wear a collared shirt and spend all that money on that or whatever. What you'll probably end up doing is spending more money on discs as time goes on instead of on green fees. Like me and my wife have, and start building up a collection and so forth. But that's just the fun of it. You don't have to do that. You can seriously have you 3 discs or 1 disc or whatever, and you can play disc golf for the rest of your life as long as you don't lose those discs. And one thing I do want to add on there is you do want to actually, if you ever go buy a disc, put your name and your phone number right up under the rim or on the back of the disc somewhere in case you do lose the disc. Most people out there in the disc golf world are so nice and helpful, and they want to help you with tips or help you on the course. But they'll actually, if they find your disc, they look and you see your name and number, that, oh, they lost a disc, they're going to text you or call you and say, hey, I found your disc, and work out something with you to get it back. I mean, there's some places even that have local lost and found. So I'm telling you folks, instead of like going out at night bowling with your friends or whatever, you can already have your disc and just go to a course and you don't have to pay anything else. And just have a great time, okay? So today I'm actually going to continue talking more, as I'm going to take you to one of my favorite courses here locally. It's called Two Rivers. It's a beautiful course, and I'll do a lot more of my talking and discussing then. I think for now this is a good beginning. So let's load up our cart and get going, okay? Well, hello again everyone. This is Brad Vines with Disc Golf for Everyone. I brought you out here to this beautiful course, Two Rivers. It's here in the Tri-Cities, Washington. Again, where I've moved from Alabama up here to, and I've found the love of disc golf. So what I want to do is share that with you today. And just going to start with some of the basics. The main thing is I want you guys to actually get a disc, and please get out and try disc golf. It is so much fun. And again, I didn't have to pay a green fee or anything to get here. This course actually happens to have a practice basket, but if your other courses that you happen to find that are also doesn't cost you anything to play, you can just pick out one of the other baskets that's on the course and practice on that basket. Okay. Now, one of the main things you're going to want to do when you first start playing disc golf is you're going to want to practice and get used to putting. Okay, putting is going to be one of the things you want to do so much in the beginning and throughout your disc golf career or playing or whatever, is to practice your putting, because putting is the most important. I would encourage you to actually get close to the basket and start off just getting comfortable with the disc. There's a couple of different ways to actually hold the disc. I actually do what's called like more of a fan grip. A lot of people actually put their finger on the rim like that, and or I tuck mine under a little bit like this. It's just whatever's comfortable to you. I don't want to overcomplicate it. You can actually look at different videos out there on YouTube if you want to. There's hundreds out there. I've researched and watched hundreds of videos and tips and tutorials on just trying to help improve and make my game even better. So, but again, let's go back to the basics. Pick out a basket somewhere. It doesn't matter if you only have 1 disc, okay? Use that disc over and over and practice with it. You can go play around with 1 disc, okay? Or 3 discs or whatever. You don't have to have a fancy cart like I do or a bag. I see people out with a grocery bag carrying their discs around, carrying them in their hand, you know, put them in a backpack or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can wear whatever you want, okay? The main thing is just get out and try it, okay? Let's start off simply close to the basket. Just get a feel for it. What does it feel like to hear those chains bust? The disc to drop into the basket. As you go on more and more and more, you'll want to move further and further away as you get comfortable with it. But this is how you actually want to start your round, or just go out and practice and get a feel for it. You also, before you want to go out and throw full force, you'll actually want to do some stretching. Now, I actually won't go over all of my stretching with you, but it's very important before you start trying to throw full power to make sure that you stretch appropriately. But if you're just going to go out and pitch the disc around and do some putting, you don't necessarily have to do extensive stretching or anything. But I want you to stay healthy and stay strong and enjoy disc golf for a long time. Okay, so let's get going on to the course, and I'll explain more as I'm going and playing this round. Okay. As you approach a course, most of them will have a sign similar to this just to lay out the park rules and so forth. It'll usually be near the first tee, something like this. So just kind of be prepared. It'll kind of tell you what you're supposed to do when you come to the course. So once you start deciding to actually play around the disc golf, you'll encounter something like this. This is what's called a tee pad, which is actually where you will stand and throw from. And most courses will also have a T sign as well to kind of tell you a little bit about the hole. In this case, this hole actually goes up and it dog legs around the corner. It's 363, a par 3, and most of the holes you'll encounter in disc golf will actually be par 3s. They kind of make it simple in that case. Now this hole actually, again, dog legs around the trees here, and the basket is way off in the distance up there, if you can see it, right up there. Okay. So before I tee off on number one, I just want to kind of tell you a few things about the different types of discs that are out there. There's basically 4 different types. You have your distance drivers, you have your fairway drivers, you have your mid-ranges, and you have your putters. Now again, you can come out and play with one disc. Obviously I have several discs. I've been playing for almost 2 years now. But again, one disc would be just fine. And today when I play, I'm going to show you my shots as they are. And I'm going to try to teach you some of the terminology along the way as well, okay? So let's get going. Now I am a lefty, just so you know, which means I actually throw a left-handed backhand. Most of the disc golfers out there in the world are going to throw a right-handed backhand, or actually even throw what's called a sidearm or a forearm, which they're going to throw this way, and usually with their right hand. So I don't throw those forehands. I just can't. I've actually had shoulder surgery a few months ago, and I'm still recovering from that. So I'm just working on my swings in this basic form, okay? Now, as you are beginning to throw, I don't encourage you to actually do what's called a walk up or a run up, where you actually will approach disc to throw the disc. You can actually do what's called a standstill. It helps you work on your form and so forth. You can actually do this and just throw the disc that way, okay? Through my recovery from my shoulder surgery, I've had to gradually progress back into my game. Sorry for the motorcycle. And build it back in from slowly doing some easy throwing, then to a standstill approach again. And now I'm actually doing walk-ups again. So here we go, enough talking, I'll throw. So I actually want it to fade around that way, which is called a hyzer for me. That actually plays the dog leg like I want it to do. Okay folks, so here I am, I'm about 120 feet out. That's the one difference in disc golf versus real golf, is you're gonna go by feet instead of yards. So in this case, I'm guessing I'm about 120 feet out. I actually do have a rangefinder, fortunately, that my wife gave me for Christmas. I just kind of know from playing a while about how long it is. So from this area, we're doing what's called an approach shot. You're actually just wanting to try to get the disc kind of close around the basket so that you have an easy putt for your par, and you can move on to the next hole. Okay, so let's see what we can do with it. I'm actually going with my trusty old G-Star Rhino. I'm going to do what's kind of called a flex shot. This is going to try to go out this way a little bit and then cut around the back of the tree, hopefully to get close back to the basket. Wow, marked out really close. Cool. As you can see, my disc ended up very close to the basket. This is what we like to call parking your shot. Obviously, it's just another disc golf terminology term. But obviously, the closer you can get to the basket, the easier it is to make the putt. Now, one of the more important rules, or most important rules in disc golf in the beginning, is what's called the first circle. You actually have to imagine that there's a circle going around this basket that is 33 feet from the basket, okay? Within that circle, you're actually not allowed to do what's called a jump putt, or to actually step forward over the disc. It's very important that you don't do that. But beyond that, besides your putting, you can use what's called a mini marker to mark your disc, or simply go up and just leave your disc laying where it is, put your foot behind the disc, and make the putt. So, what I could have done this. There's a us a nice par. Let's move on to the second hole. So hole number 2 at Two Rivers is called Osprey. It's a par 3. It's 417 feet. It's rather long for beginners and so forth. But again, our main objective and what I'm trying to always do is to get pars on every hole. That's what all the people that are better than me have told me and tipped and give me advice to do. So that's what I try to do. Try to get my drive out in the middle of the fairway somewhere, get my second shot close, and then make my easy par putt. Every now and then I get lucky and throw my first shot, get it kind of close, and I get a birdie putt. Great. But otherwise, I'm trying to get pars. That makes me happy. So I advise y'all to do that in the beginning. Let's see what we can do here. A little cramped here on the tee, so excuse me. Get under that tree. Woo, yeah. That was a pretty good rip for this old man. So I do need to clarify something. It actually said on the tee pad it's 417. Some of the holes out there and courses you'll encounter will actually have 2 baskets. And so like in this case, this one has a short basket and then a long basket that's way back there. So this case, the 417 is playing to that long basket. But I'm old and still a beginner, so I'm playing to the short basket with my pretty good drive here. So, as you can see, it's a beautiful course out here. Kids, parents, you know, playing around here too. They're actually just enjoying the park. So that's just something to keep in mind. There are, in most disc golf parks, some places that are actually multi-usage. This one has a playground. It has, you know, several benches for people to come and picnic and so forth. So just always be mindful of the other pedestrians and the people using the park, so that you don't ever want to hit them with a disc, obviously. So make sure, like in this case, I'm letting them clear well out of the way before I throw. And if I have an errant disc or it starts to fly in their direction, I'm going to yell FORE, obviously, because and that's where it comes, disc golf for everyone. Just because that's the warning word that we want to use. So to let other people know to watch out. There's a disc coming in your direction, take cover, and so forth. But in this case, I don't have as much of a lengthy approach. My chain tickler is actually a little bit straighter flyer disc because I'm going to try to make a little run for this one, which is making a run is actually trying to be aggressive and trying to make the shot rather than just trying to lay it up and go short. So let's see what we can do here. Well, straighter flyer into the tree that time, but hey, I said I'd do my shots just like they are. So even though I hit the tree, I got really lucky and it fell really close to the basket. So I'm not even gonna bother marking my disc. Again, we just step right behind here and make our putt for par. Got lucky there, but that's why I do most of my practicing is from like 150 feet in, because I want these shots to end up close to the basket when they're done, because I have what I call a stress-free par putt. So let's see how the rest of the round goes. So hole number 3 at Two Rivers. It's actually called Flicker. It's a par 3, 320 feet. The basket is way up there around the back side of that. You actually can't see it. Way back there by the rocks. So from the tee, you actually got to go around this tree that's right in the middle. So you're either going to go to the right or to the left of it to try to get out there towards the middle of that fence that's blocking it. Or if you're experienced, you can actually drive past that. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to opt to try to go around the tree this way and do what's called a turnover shot. I want my disc to go out here, turn this way, through that gap, and then come back towards the middle of the trees. Let's see what it does. Threw a little nose up and it hydrated out on me. That just happens sometimes. So, but hey, I made it through the gap and it hit a tree. Well, my drive wasn't as far as I wanted, but I'm gonna go with my old trusty Rhino again. I'm guessing I'm about 150 feet away this time. So let's see if we can just get it close so we can get another easy par putt, hopefully. Let's see. Go in. Woo. Right. Once again, my approach shot was really close, thankfully. That's why I practiced that. Let's see if I can just make this putt par. Let's go. So while we're waiting on these folks to pass by, so that we don't throw a disc in their direction. Some people don't know about disc golf or know that this is a disc golf course, so you have to be mindful of them. But as they're walking past it, I want to point something out that you'll encounter in some disc golf courses. It's called a mando. There's a little sign that's on that tree right there. And it basically says that your disc has to go to this side of that tree. So be mindful of the mandos as you encounter them on the course, so that your disc is supposed to go in the right direction. It just kind of makes the course a little bit more challenging. But then again, you can play the mandos or not. A lot of times when we're just casually playing with my friends, we decide not to even play the mandos at all. So who cares? I mean, only really into tournament stuff. We're just out to have fun most of the time. So, but this hole is called Robin. It's also a par 3, 324. The basket is actually way back there past that last tree and back there in the distance. So I kind of want to come around it that way. Let's see what we can do. So what happened there was that gentleman with his dog and the frisbee, which is cute. He's playing much faster than me. So it's kind of common courtesy in that case to just let him play through. So he's going ahead and playing on up in front of me. He's going to finish it on out, and he's going to move on to the next tee, and then I'm free and clear, you know, to play the next, or play this hole, and I'm not backing anybody up. So it's just kind of common courtesy to do that, my friends. If you have, especially if you're in a big group and you have a single that comes through, they're playing much faster than you, just be nice and let them play on through, okay? And it just helps the day go by that much faster. Thanks. Okay, so on hole number 4 here, just kind of dog leg around those trees out there. I'm just going to try to play it safe out in the middle towards that sign in the distance. That way I got a good clear shot towards the basket, because I know I can't drive it that far. Very bad shot into the ground. That happened. Well, I made the mando, but my drive was less than stellar. So this leaves me a little bit longer approach. I want to go with something like a mid-range to get a little more distance. Thank goodness I have a good clearing here, except for the tree over here on the left, because I want to avoid. So let's just see if we can get my approach shot nice and tight and save my par streak. It's gonna be a tough par putt. Let's see what we can do. Well, my par putt's a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm gonna use my marker this time. And I'm gonna clean these branches out of the way. Try to make it a little bit closer and give myself a little bit better chance. Never up, never in. So since I missed that and didn't get it close enough, I have to take a bogey. This is behind the tee at hole 5 at Two Rivers. Some of the pretty scenery you're likely to encounter when you're out playing disc golf. This hole is called Hawk. It's a par 3, 278. I had a good drive. I might can get close on this one. There's a tree out here in the way. Just kind of need to avoid. But the basket is right out there. Let's see how she goes. Well, my memory card on my video camera is full, so I'm going to shoot the rest of it with my phone. So, but anyway, let's see what we can do. Hyzered off, but not too bad. Well, we missed the last putt for par, so let's mark this one and see if we can make this birdie putt. Make up for it. Short again. Oh well. I'll go tap that in. Number 6 here at Two Rivers is called Magpie. It's another one of those holes that actually has 3 different baskets and 2 different tees. I'm going to play the shorter tee, the alternate, which makes it a 640-foot par 4. Our first par 4 here. A lot of times we play this as a par 5. So, but anyway, there are a couple of mandos on this tree. There's one way out here on this tree, so you have to stay a little to the right of all that, and then there's a few more way on out in the fairway, so it doesn't allow you to go through this little corner here and cut the distance. The basket is way out in the distance on that little ridge right there. Let's see how we do. We do have some people out there in the distance. I need a disc though. It's going to actually do a little bit more of a turnover for me again. So I'm actually wanting the disc to go out there and turn this way a little bit and then fade out. So let's see what we can do.
I'm gonna wait because I don't know what they're doing. So.
Well, maybe we're safe and clear now if I don't turn it over too much. Well, I thought it was. Now they're going to walk back out in the middle of the fairway. So this happens sometimes, folks. Okay, now I think they're getting far enough away where I don't have a chance to hit them. Oh yeah, just what I wanted it to do. Cool. All right, so that was a pretty decent drive. The basket is right out there in the distance. So I just want to make sure I don't hit these trees right here. I'm clear of all the mandos that are over here to the left. So I just need to focus on trying to get a straight shot under the trees and down there in good shape. Keep going. All right, safe and a long birdie putt. Okay, so my birdie attempt on this hole, since it's so far away, I'm guessing it's about 70, 80 feet. I can't actually putt that far, so I'm gonna do what's called a throw in from here. However, I do have water over the edge there. It drops off. There's brush and stuff that might can stop my disc if I throw it too far. But I'm not necessarily going to be that aggressive with this shot. I'm not necessarily going to try to run it, okay? I just want to try to get it up there, maybe make it. But if not, let it land real close by. Easy little par putt to move on from this hole. Again, I like pars. Go. Oh, yes. And see, right under the basket. Just where we want it to be. So since we got that shot executed basically just like I wanted, I can do what's called a tap in, which is basically when it says close, you can seriously walk up, pick it up, and tap it in. The easiest kind of par putts. But let me show you this view too, because it is such a pretty course. You got the ducks swimming, usually there in the background. And then the other holes, or excuse me, the baskets for this hole, if you play the long, you got 2. You got one right back there. And they got one tucked away up on that little hill right there. So, fun ways to play this hole as well. So number 7 at Two Rivers is called Sparrow. It's a 229-yard par 3. A little bit more on the shorter distance. See the tee coming off to here. Different type of tee pad. They have some of these that are concrete out here, and they have some of these little mats and stuff. So, but the tee, or the basket, is right out there. This hole's a pretty good one for me. It's a little bit shorter. I have a chance to do what I call an ace run, which basically means an ace is if you make a hole in one, which is what all the disc golfers out there in the world want to do. So, so let's see if I can get my first. It's kind of a cramped tee, bear with me. Have a birdie putt. Cool. Well, after that nice drive that I basically about 20 feet away. Let's see if we can capitalize on a birdie. We don't get many chances at it, so let's take our time. Focus and make sure we make a good putt. There we go. Now we're back to even. All right, folks. We may only have time for 9 holes today, but we will see, depending on the sun and all. But number 8 at Two Rivers is called Chickadee. It's a par 3, 288. Get a good drive. You can actually get down there pretty close to the basket. It's pretty kind of open. There's no mandos. So it's a good opportunity to maybe get close and get another birdie for us. We'll see. One other thing I want to point out, you see the trash can by the T sign. Most of the disc golf courses, you can see there's several out in the distance. I encourage you please to pick up all your trash. Keep the disc golf courses clean, or keep it cleaner than how you left it. If you smoke especially, put your cigarette butts out and throw them away as well. And just do your part to help make the place nicer than you left it. So, because this place is really, really pretty. And we want to keep it clean like this. A little low. So as I'm walking down my second shot on number 8 here, I thought I'd just talk to you a little bit and encourage you as you get out on the course, whether you want to play by yourself or you end up meeting people out on the course. All disc golfers are friendly, want to help give you tips. They understand they had to start somewhere too as well, so don't be embarrassed if you go out and you only have 1 disc or 3 discs, or it's in a grocery bag, or you're wearing clothes you think you're not nice enough. It's for everyone, okay? It is for everyone. And I've met so many wonderful people across the country playing for disc golf back in Alabama. On some courses, I actually got to play at the beautiful Sugary course in North Carolina with my son. I got him playing and his college friends playing. My wife plays. We've gotten so many of our friends also introduced to playing disc golf. It's just such a wonderful sport. I get such enjoyment out of it. And it's great exercise. I've met a lot of men as well that are overweight that have told me their incredible stories about losing so much weight just because they're getting out and playing disc golf and walking. Walking is one of the most beneficial things we can do. And you're simply taking a walk in the park and throwing some discs along the way. It can't get much better than that. So let's see what we can do with my shot here and see if we can park one again, okay? Well, because my drive was so short, I'm a little further back than I wanted to be. I'm gonna use my chain tickler. I got a pretty straight shot out here, see if I can get close. It's an EMAC Judge, by the way. And right under the basket for an easy par. So with that great shot by my chain tickler, EMAC Judge, you can see up close again. Nice easy putt for par. Let's just finish it up with a tap in. Number 9 at Two Rivers is called Quail. It's another par 4. It's 487 feet. You can see it's pretty straightforward. There's that big tree right down in the middle of the fairway. I can't drive that far, but usually if I can get straight down there, maybe about 270 or so, then I have a pretty good or decent approach shot so I can get par on this hole. It's very tricky for me to get par on this hole, but I like to do it. This hole also actually has an alternate tee that's way up there in the woods. Makes this hole a whole lot harder, but I'm not gonna play it. While I'm thinking of it, another term I want to go over with you is like if you hear somebody that hit or throw a really good drive, somebody will say how you ripped it, or it's a good pull. That's just some of the common terminologies that people will talk about as well. Also, in the case where I'm actually a left-handed thrower, when my disc comes out, one of the main terms you're going to hear a lot of times is called a hyzer. So for me, a hyzer is when the disc comes out and it actually turns out this way at the end. And hyzer then is the opposite, where the disc turns and goes this way. For most of you right-handers out there, then it's going to be the exact opposite. Your hyzers are going to go out and fade out this way. Your your anhyzers are going to go and turn and go this way. So those are two of the most common terms you're going to hear out there, especially a hyzer. So if it's a spike hyzer, the disc is actually coming in at an extreme hyzer angle and coming down. That's just another terminology to use. So, however, let's see if we can get a good pull with my drive here, right down the middle. And we did. Shout out to my buddy here that I see and watch a lot of times on YouTube. He's called Danny Lindell. He's with Dynamic Discs. Watch him a lot. One of his terminologies and slogans he uses all the time is slow is smooth and smooth is far. Thank you for that, Danny, because that has been an excellent tip for me to use, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. Thanks, bud. It's actually a pretty decent drive for me. You can see I got that tree in my way. The basket is way down there under that tree in the distance. See there? Because of that, I don't have a straight line shot at the basket. So I'm gonna have to throw actually a shot out here towards this. That's going to then hyzer, hopefully, over this way towards the basket. Let's see if we can do that and pick the right disc. In this case, I'm gonna actually go with a fairway driver, my old Champion TL, one of my favorite discs. It's a little stable to overstable, which means it's actually going to want to hyzer out for me and not turn over too much. So they're down there towards the basket, but they're going to wait on me. Hyzer. Okay. So I have a putt for birdie. It'll be long. Well, that's not as close as I wanted it, but I've got at least a chance for a throw in. In this case, there's not much danger except the tree right past it. Let's try to run it a little bit. Why not? You only live once, right? Oh, not enough juice, but it'll be a good, easy tap in par. Well, hopefully if I can make this putt, we can finish our front nine at even with one birdie and one bogey. Let's see. Cool. Hello everyone, this is Brad Vines again. I apologize, but I realized that my first video was actually too long, so I'm going to break it up into two parts, and the back nine will be my second video. I do hope you will tune in and join it as well, and maybe earn your like and your subscription today. If you want to see more content from me, please tune in and check out my Instagram page at Get a Load of Disc Guy for some funny disc golf content that I pretty much post every day. Peace out. Disc golf for everyone.